Hey everyone, welcome to L.A.P Coins. Today, the United States Mint has announced the designs for the Semiquincentennial Circulating Coin program. So, as you guys know, we had the Women on Quarters program for a few years. So, this is going to be the next one for 2026. These designs are only going to be out for 1 year, so just 2026. In this video, I'm just going to be covering the new designs for the quarters because those have had the most changes and there are 5 different designs. These coins are meant to commemorate the 250 years of American liberty by reflecting our country's founding principles and honoring our nation's history. So let's get into these designs. Alright, so the first for the quarters is the Mayflower Compact Quarter. So the description here says the obverse design features 2 pilgrims embracing as they behold the new world. So here it is. You can see 1776 to 2026. In God We Trust. E Pluribus Unum is on the top. I think this is a good design. This series is definitely going to be a huge change for quarters as we know them. Honestly, like I thought the Women in Quarters program was a big change because of especially how they changed how Washington looks on the quarter. But this series is really going to be changing the course of our designs on the quarters. I do like it. I don't really have much to say about it. It's kind of plain. So here is the reverse side of the coin. So United States of America, 25 cent, Liberty, Mayflower Compact. I actually really like this reverse. I think it's really well done. It is kind of hard to see the Liberty, but overall, I think this is a very good reverse for a quarter. And then here again is the obverse. It's just going to be so weird not having George Washington on the quarter. The next quarter design is the Revolutionary War quarter. I'm going to show you guys the obverse, but this quarter design actually does have George Washington on it. Here it is. It kind of reminds me of the George Washington presidential dollar design quite a lot. This is still a solid design for the obverse of a quarter. Still has the classic George Washington on it. And then here is the reverse of this Revolutionary War quarter. It says here that the reverse design shows a Continental Army soldier at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. So that is the location of this. It's not a specific person on the reverse, but this is a very good design, I think. So the next design here we have is the Declaration of Independence quarter. The description here says the design features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse of the coin. So this is, I believe, the first president that's not George Washington that is going to be on the obverse of a quarter ever. Let me pull up the design for you guys. Declaration of Independence quarter. I do think it's a little weird how it's not just Thomas Jefferson's head and it's kind of like his bust a little different. I feel like they could have just done his face, honestly. So I'm not the biggest fan of this one. But for the reverse is the Liberty Bell, and I actually like this a lot. I noticed so far on these designs they're going kind of minimalistic, which, if you guys know, me and my co-host, we kind of like these plain and simple designs over the crazy busy designs we've had in the past, like on national park quarters and state quarters, and even the Women on Quarters program. I think this is really solid here. Liberty Bell, you can see the crack. I think this is really nice. Unfortunately, the obverse takes away some of the design for me. It's not my favorite. The next one we have is the U.S. Constitution quarter. So the description here says that the obverse design features James Madison, the 4th President of the United States of America. He was also known as the father of the Constitution. Again, we're going back to the classic, just the head of the president here, like we had for the other quarter that had George Washington on it for 2026. So I think this is what they should have done for the Declaration quarter. Here's the design. I think it's good. Again, I just like the plain simple face of the president. And the reverse depicts the Independence Hall in Philadelphia, which is where the Liberty Bell was housed. So here's the design here. It says, "We the people." Pretty big text here. $quarter, it also says. Again, simplicity. I think this is another great reverse design. The final design for this 2026 quarter program is the Gettysburg Address Quarter. This features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. So here is the design for Abe Lincoln. I think this is probably the best version we've had of Abe Lincoln on a coin. I just really like how this design looks. Okay, the reverse design features an inscription of a new nation conceived in liberty, which is a passage from the Gettysburg Address. And then there's these two hands grasping each other, which is meant to represent Lincoln's efforts to hold the nation together. So here's the design. Again, very simple. Up top, you have the big text, New Nation Conceived in Liberty. On the bottom, it says Gettysburg Address, and it's these two hands grasping each other. This kind of reminds me of one of those Westward Journey nickels. These artists for this program have gone very simple and very sleek, and I very much appreciate that because that is what I look for in a coin design. Not too busy, but I would have to say, out of all of these, I'm gonna have to give my favorite to the U.S. Constitution Quarter. I think that's my favorite design out of these. And then, unfortunately, my least favorite is just going to be the Mayflower Compact Quarter. So, guys, that is the Semiquincentennial Coin program for 2026. Let me know what you guys think of these designs and the fact that it's going to be only a 1 year program. So I can sense that this is going to be a very highly collectible set here. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.